Okay, so good evening, almost good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. And thank you for attending the Asia Mastermind. This is actually the third sessions that we have had so far in Indonesia. And I just want to remind you all that AsiaHRM is basically a HR community platform that is founded in Hong Kong. And it has branches in the Asia regions. Basically, we are located in Malaysia, Hong Kong, China, Bangladesh, Cambodia, and then Indonesia itself, and Philippines, right? So we are covering most of the Southeast Asia and Asia, basically. And actually, it has a noble purpose, which is care to share, right? And then AsiaHRM itself has been offering good propositions like certification program for the young HR managers, where I also managed to participate. And then on the other hand, they also have some activities like book club, weekly book club, and then Indonesia Mastermind. They also managed to sponsor some talks related to hot and fundamental topics like strategy, outlook of business, and then the OKR recently. So many offerings basically. But as we all aware, probably the young development of AsiaHRM needs to have a more shout out. Yeah, that is why probably all of us here can help the growth of AsiaHRM. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our special guest speaker this afternoon, a dear friend, a seasoned HR head with whom I know for many years back in the different industry before. Her name is Ibu Wulan Rani, and she will be our guest speaker in leadership topic. And Ibu Rani, with her more than 20 years of experience in HR and her background as a psychologist, she would be able to give us an overview from her unique angle on what leadership is. I have to share with you as well that we have a survey run in Malaysia, and we are going to be able to share with you what they have based on the survey. So without further ado, I would like to present the floor to Ibu Wulan Rani. So Mbak Wulan, please, the floor is yours.
Selamat sore, very good evening for everyone. Hi Mary, hope you can also hear me very clear here. And yes, I don't think I need to introduce myself. You guys can find me on the LinkedIn also very easy. And also, I think the audience today is my dear friend also. All of you guys knows me quite well. So I will just only share a bit about my experience, like yeah, as mentioned by Mbak Dia, that I have almost 20 years journey in HR. Yes, I'm that old. So, but usually my boss keeps saying that we are not old, we are mature. So let me use that phrase also. I'm mature enough with a lot of situation that I've dealt before. So I will only like share a bit about leadership from my point of view. So if I may ask Mbak Dia to help to go to the next slide. Yeah. So this is about what leadership on my own words. So how I see leadership from my own perspective. So please go to the next. Thank you. So this is like how I define leadership on my own word based on my experience. So Basically, leadership has a lot of aspect that if we want to be really like able to develop our skill, and then we can call ourselves to have a very like a strong leadership on dealing with the team with all the situation. What we really need to to highlight, one of it is about the awareness, about the self-awareness. Why I put self-awareness as part of things that I really highlight on talking when I'm talking about the leadership, because when we talk about how to lead other people, we need to understand about ourselves, right? Being aware about your own qualities, your weaknesses, your strength, and then your character and how is your personality and everything is will affect the way you carry your leadership uh, and how you associate with others. For instance, that if you desire to be like a very effective leader, and then you need to really consider to understand about yourself. So like how we see our reflection on the mirror can help us to understand how we can approach people, and it's also make us very easy more easy for us to understand when we can stand on another people's shoes. That's something that I really feels very important during my journey, and this is how I try to understand others. Like I need to understand about myself, and the last 2 months is not too easy for me also, because I if I may say that I need to let go people at that time. I always say to my team, so Fitri is quite know the situation, that I try to reduce my conversation with others. I try to limit myself to talking about like a heavy things when I need to talk to the people, that I have to let them go. Why? Because I need to have my 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 whole mind, my heart, and I need to be in a very positive feeling when I need to talk to them, because it is not only about talking to people, but also about how I will be there fully with my whole heart and mind when I need to share the not good news to them, so I can show my empathy in a very honest way. That's why how I try to understand myself first, how I try to control myself first is very important for me from time to time. Okay, can we go to the next slides? Thank you. And um, can we move, Mbak? Still not changed on my part.
It's
Yes.
world citizen. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it is the word citizen. Why I said that is word citizen. So being a word citizen means that you realize that a lot of thing happens not only in front of you, but all over the world, like in another place. This help us to open our mind and open our the way we understand people with the diversity all over the global, that makes us understand that sometimes we need to make, even though we need to make a very difficult decision, we know that we need to understand at least how people will respond or how people will think about the situation from time to time. So this is not only about seeing from our perspective, but also for a lot of point of view. This will help us to understand how our decision will make impact to all the people that around us, and how to make sure that if then we need to make a very difficult decision or a very strategic decision, we know that we already understand not only from one point of view, but from a lot of point of view, especially when you deal with the let's say global company. I know that the situation will not be similar, even though let's say with this current situation we have the pandemic situation, but the impact of this pandemic itself is not really similar. Let's say in Indonesia, with also like what now Mary deal with there at Cambodia, and also another country. If we have like a wider perspective, it will help us also to get more understanding about the situation and how we can make the decision like a more close to what we in strategic methods, right? Okay, next.
Yeah.
So next one that I feels real as a very important role as a leader is how we can empowering others. So empowering is refer to two things, whether we do it by ourselves or we seek help to help them to like get a professional help on how we can help others to be developed. It has never been an easy job for sure, because on this situation also we need to understand what is their problem, right? After we understand ourselves, we need to also understand what others people problems, and then what the organization need, and also if that we need to do like a any decision making, we need to really able to have a very strong bonding with the team, right? So empowering
Yeah.
others means like a, it is not always about you, it is about your team, and how you can have a very strong bonding with team, and how you can push them, even though sometimes it's a bit hard to do that, how you push them, and then make sure that they utilize their possibilities, their asset to reach the company goal. It is always a lot of challenge when we think about empowering others. We try our best to empower them, but sometimes they didn't realize that they need to do it. That's why empowering is always takes like a lot of efforts and a lot of strategic step. And also when you want to influence other, giving them the authority to do something, you need to really bring your heart on there. You need to understand the situation. That's the most important thing. You need to build a very strong bonding. So sometimes your strategy part on how you empower them is really like a needs you to have a very like a detailed step, and it's supposed to be different from one person to another person. Let's say with this current situation, we need to understand any personal problems that may be related to their current situation and how we can support them. It's very important. So this makes us like have the responsibility to do our best as a leader, not only see the growth of the business, but how we can grow the team together with us. Okay, next, Fadia. And another thing that we need to have as a leader is how we become solution oriented, meaning that um, your team trusts you. They really, really trust you. They listen to you. So they will always come to you to seek for an answer. For them, you are the place for them to get any answer they need. So they will come to you, require you to have the solution, the answer of all the question, and not only the theory about the situation itself. So what we need to understand and what we need to try to train ourselves, our mind, is how we can focusing on finding the solution, any solution, plenty of alternative that we need to have to every problems that faced by the team. So this will help us also to understand. That's why I said that having a lot of understanding about the situation is also a good thing for us, because it will help us also to give a lot of things as an input before we make any decision on any difficult situation that we deal as a team. Next.
Yeah.
And something that I think is like a very important. Nowadays, I believe that HR is no longer about only doing, being there to support, being there to listen, being there to do the administration part. We need to understand about the business. 100%. That's why I always push my team to have a very deep understanding about the business itself. Why? Because we are no longer the people who work behind and only support and only become the firefighter from time to time. But it's also we need to understand how to support the business to be, more expanded, and then we work very close with the sales target, how we can increase the target, how we can achieve the target, any way for us to help the business to move forward. During the pandemic situation, I realized that it is no longer about how I can support, taking care of them, being there, protect them. No, it's no longer about that. Especially in, I'm working in a very a young startup company, and then a lot of things happens during the situation. You know how difficult the pandemic hits everywhere, and how the difficult for the business from time to time. And if I only do the administration, if I only try to support them, make sure that the payroll finish, thinking about the training that we can deliver, it is not something that directly impact the business of my company. So what I need to do from time to time is put myself, if I am the owner of the business. So I try to be to understand, if I am an entrepreneur, what should I do? What step that I need to take from time to time, especially on this kind of situation. I know a lot of startup failed during this season, and I know that we are a lot of us is still very struggling on dealing with the situation. But if we try to understand on both sides the perception of the business, but also from our side as an HR person who do our, of course, I don't need to questioning about how good all of us on taking care of the administration. That's the most important role that we already know, doing it in automatic way, right? That's already part of the automation that creates in HR. So if we understand the business clearly, and we try to put ourselves on how the owner, the BODs think to move forward with the business, it will help us to be one of the person who involved on seeing the future of the company. That help us also to understand any strategic step that we need to take from time to time. So it will help us to be more alert, and then more playful, and also, you know, uh, giving feedback with a lot of consideration. That's something that actually all the BODs, the owner, and all the frontliner, which I mean is sales and business development, need from time to time. That's why usually, especially in Indonesia, they will always put HR as the contingency team, right? Because we need to be there for them from time to time. So that's why I think we need to know about the entrepreneur part. Next. So, and yes, as a leader, for me, we need to make sure that we are the type of people who love to learn, who love to teach, who liberate and also innovative, and who includes others in the process of thinking imaginatively, who willing to challenge everyone around to create a better business and a better world. This will ensure that the organization do more than simply update the old ways. This is what we really need to do right now to survive, especially in terms of the business perspective. Next. And well, at the end, leadership is, of course, about inspire people, empowering people, share your vision, and lead the change that we need to do from time to time. And next, just one final note from me. Um, give yourself time, because nothing is instant. So if you want to know whether your leadership style is really effective or not, don't push yourself too hard and saying that I think I haven't done my best. No, be open to any comment, be open to listen to other people point of view, and then you can learn also from that. Remember, we need to do something that will lead the team to move forward, right? What's something that I really highlight from time to time from myself, anytime I made any decision and I made any comments, what I really like highlight from anything that I try to say to people is I really need to walk the talk. It's not only giving the decision, but I really need also to show them that I am doing the same things. That's what I do from time to time. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much. This is something that I try to put on my own word about the leadership, but you guys will see the result of the analysis that already done in another country. Let's talk together about that. Thank you so much, Maria.
All right, thank you so much, Maulan. Of course, in this case, we have so many exciting information that I can share in our deck today, but I really want to give the time back to you all, especially because we need to learn more from Maulan's experience, yeah, on her leadership journey, right? So I would like to give us about 15 minutes to have a question and answer here, because I'm sure you may have certain case that you would like to share with her, that you would like to get her wisdom from, you know, something unique that happens along her career. Yeah, what makes her where she is right now. So I would like to have uh, Laras, Arya, Fitri. Hi, Foster. Thanks for joining. Foster is from Hong Kong here. Um,
Hi.
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 yeah,
I'm so pleased
Hello.
to
Thank you so
join.
much for joining.
yeah. So I would like to give the time to you all to ask as many questions as you want to our guest speaker today. Marie.
Can I ask something? Yeah, it's a bit simple.
Sure, sure, Laras. Sure, Laras.
Laras, please.
Okay.
Laras,
So
please.
yeah, maybe as a part, as the part of the leader, maybe you might need like trust from others, right? When you like
Yeah.
making any decision or building something, you need to gain the trust of each other. And I want to ask, in your opinion, what is the best way to gain trust from others? Because yeah, you know, I know it depends like on the person itself, but eventually when something we need to do something, then the person needs to trust us to move forward with that. So yeah, I want to ask that. Thank you.
How to gain trust? Yeah, Laras. Yeah. Okay, silakan Mbak Ulan.
Yeah, when I believe what Laras mentioned is about how they can trust your judgment when it's come to like you give any advice to them, right? So on that case that you know what that I to read, but then when I become a manager back then in 2005. See, I'm that old. So at that time, I realized that I need to start loving the getting new information from time to time. So when I speak to people, I need to make sure that I am not only seeing it from one point of view. So what I do from time to time is I spoke to a lot of people, more senior people for me at that time. So I spoke to a lot of people. I'm asking their opinion. I'm asking their judgment. And then before I make a draft of any specific things that I want to discuss with them. So I make a bullet point at that time and I really write it down to make sure that I will not lose focus. So Laras and Fitri, I believe you asking how to gain trust from people is how you can make sure that the source that you bring up is the source that really valid. So the source that can give you like a wide information, and like when you explore more and you double check everywhere that the source will be the same, they will say the same thing. So that's also like a, sometimes like a young people tends to be like a wants to have everything finished like as soon as possible, as fast as possible. uh, but that's not the way we want to gain trust from the people around us, because it is gain, it is not given. So the best way to do it, how you develop to get their trust to you. Anytime you share any information to them, make sure that the information is trustworthy and you have someone else to support you. That's the most important thing. So I do, for myself, I always mention that I love to write. I even like prepare a book. I got plenty of book, but dia keep giving me like a lot of notes so I can write it down inside. And from time to time, I always make it empty. So this is kind how I try to make myself enjoying on writing, like doing a small painting on my book, so I will always remember anything that I want to share to other people's. Laras, you have all what you need actually. The best way is how you communicate all your information that you have with you to make sure that people can understand in the right way. So it's gained. Took time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
of course you can do that. And be
Okay.
confident. I believe that's also the secret, right? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
if we confident with all the information that we share to people, people will also notice that yes, we are confident with that.
Okay. 1 second. Thank you.
Laras, do you have further questions
No, no, no.
or no? So I think what we need to highlight is you need to have a strong fundamentals. Like in this case, Mbak Rani discussed about trustworthy source. And then you need to present the trustworthy source or data with confidence, right? So that makes yourself accountable, and that will instantly gain trust. And I really support that, because we may have heard about opportunities come twice, but it may not be true, right? Because the first 90 seconds may be all you have when you are presenting something, or when you are, being in the crowd, right? Be it is your employees, be it is other leaders, be it is totally stranger people. That is why we need to make sure that we always have the informations needed and be on top of things. And I like the fact that Mbak Wulan always take notes and prepare some notes, because we just have to make sure that we are supported sufficiently with validated data, right? Okay, so thank you so much, Laras, for your questions. I also would like to extend these opportunities for Marie, Arya, Foster, Fitri, if you have
I have
questions to
question for
Wulan.
Mbak Wulan.
Yes. Okay.
All right then. So
I have question.
oh,
Yay. Okay.
right. So we'll be the first.
Okay, Fitri, you go first.
Lady
Okay.
first.
I hope it's okay. Ladies first.
Thank you so much. All right then. So actually, I'm wondering, who is your role model, as a leader? Yeah, because I believe that, in our career journey, we must have our role model that, to be someone that we want to be, right? So, how you can choose your leadership style, because as we know, a lot of leader has their own style, and of course it will divine for the next future. So Mbak Wulan, can you please share to me or share to us also who is your role model leader, and what makes you choose the
The
leadership
person.
style right now?
Mm.
Right, thank
Fitri
you.
just joined me actually. So this is like her second month with me. Maybe she's a bit surprised because my leadership is a bit rock and roll from time to time. But yes, thank you so much, Fitri. So if you're asking like my role model actually, first I have three person that I really look up to. So first is my very first boss when I start working back then in 2001. So yes, a boss lady also. Um, she has a very strong experience, and I know how she really able to gain other people trust, because at that time, I was just a fresh graduate, came from a very small cities in Java Island, far from Jakarta, and then I know nothing, only knows about the psychological tests. So I learned a lot from her and how she tried to empower me from time to time. So I know that some people sometimes saying that when you finish your school not from a very favorite university, then you're nothing compared to those who graduate from big university. But she trusts me and she said that it is not always about the university, it is about the people and how you can develop yourself. And at that time, she challenged me that within a year, I need to show that I will not only go out about doing the recruitment, but I need to understand more. And she really wants me to be an HR generalist. Even though at that time, she was thinking that actually your profile is more to salesperson. Back at that day, the HR known like a we don't have anything to do with the sales part, right? But now I can prove to her that with my understanding about sales, it helps me to understand the business better. And she really said that also to me, that you do your part, you did well. So that's why I really adore her. Until now, I'm still having like a very good relationship with her. So that's the first my role idol. She is still also very active in this HR work. So I really still learned a lot from her. The second person, my role model, is my CEO back then when I was working with Publicis Indonesia. So Mbak Diah might be also know him. I was on my second year as a manager. I don't have any background about the advertising. I don't know nothing about how people create an advertising at that time. He is the one who said that I trust you can do it and you will nail it. So because he trusts me, he really like become a mentor. That's the most important thing. When you become a leader, part of it is you become the mentor of the person that you try to groom. So he really like spend the time to help me understand the business. And he is the one who also pushed me to open my LinkedIn account at that time. He said, Rani, you need to have a LinkedIn account. It's become like a new trend. You need to go digital. You need to go digital. Even when I say I want to resign, I want to move to another company. And he said, make sure you put your trace in the digital. You need to be a very strong digital leader. He is the one, and he is still like being there every time I move to a new company. I always make a call to him, Pak Henry Saputra. I always make a call to him, and I said that, Pa, I moved to another place, and this is my plan, and this is what I will do there. And he always said that you did it right. And the third one, if I believe she never realized, Mbak Diah is my role model when I was working at the advertising. So when before she looks very santun in bahasa like this, she is one of the rock and roll HR that very famous in the advertising industry. So I know that I need to be like her if I want to know my team and to understand my team better. Because people never say bad things about Mbak Diah. So I I really look up to her on how she talk to the team, on how she like treat another people. That's why I'm here. When she said, Mbak Wulan, I need you to join me for doing this AsiaHRM, count me in. I will always be supporting you from time to time for any reason because I adore her. So that's the three figure of the leader.
I have my goosebump. Really, I'm not kidding, because I didn't really expect this. You know.
And I never mentioned this to anyone. So, Mbak Dia, as always, love you.
Wow, thank you. I just want to share with you a bit the joy of having this very small group that includes Mbak Wulan in this case. We speak very openly in this small group, consists of seasoned HR heads, you know, and we support each other. We help each other. We laugh together. We shared our, you know, hectic moments. So it feels like we are blending so well that I don't see any hierarchical, you know, relationship. Like regardless the number of years of experience that we have, regardless the kind of industry that we are entering, I feel like it's very fruitful moment to learn from them. So this comes as a total surprise, and I really am honored for having that kind compliment from Mbak Wulan. Okay, so thanks so much. But Fitri, if I can also share my 2 cents in this case, right? Having a role model is really something that we should think about carefully, because that can be an anchor, it can be a navigator for us, because in our life, of course, we all have objectives, but we need to know where to end. Or probably it is like an endless journey or what do you call, travel of our career, because we never know how long we are going to live, right? So probably we need to constantly having a strong anchor in that case. And strong anchors are people that surround us, that motivates us, that, you know, inspire us. And it may add, it may grow, right? But more importantly is how we can take a lot of learning from them. And as we face this new situation, pandemic, I frankly learned a lot from the people around me, including the millennials, including the younger generations, because those are the people that we need to invest for the successful, you know, future. Yeah, they're probably people that we need to help a lot, because they lost their golden moment. Yeah, this is like a time travel stop for them to explore themselves, you know. So we need to help them growing once everything is over, or even now. Yeah. So that's what I want to add. But I know that Foster has been impatiently wanting to share your question to Wulan. We need to take advantage of this good moment, right? So Foster, please go ahead.
Sure, and I'm so pleased to be the gentleman here among all seasoned HR. Yeah, I come from Hong Kong. I focus on training and development. So my question would like Ms. Randy to share with us is about the culture, because Toko Talk is in e-commerce is a very fast changing industry. So when people or when the CEO talk about culture, I believe most CEO will assign the job to to the HR, right? HR is the one to build, although I think
Yes.
everyone, every manager,
Yeah.
or including also the staff, all are the people, the stakeholder to build the culture. But usually HR would take the lead. So in your industry, it's such a fast changing, competing environment. So what are the key components you would mainly focus on, and how would you describe the culture in your company, and what have you done in order to achieve the desirable culture? Yeah.
Okay. Foster, thank you so much. So yes, I'm just joining also. So if I may also highlight that this is my 11th month journey with this new company. So we are still very young. So this is the third year as an organization that if you're asking about the culture, yes, we are still trying to develop that. But what we really need try to highlight from time to time is how we have this situation together as a team, and also how we always put honesty in the first place. In any situation, what we highlight is always about the honesty. So if you're asking whether we already built a proper culture, to be honest, not yet. We still on our way to go there. But we believe that if we are being honest to in every single aspect that we do from time to time, if we are being honest on daily basis of any conversation, any business ethics, that will be the heart of the success that we try to go. So what we do from time to time is how we are being honest each other. So the first time when we are talking about honesty is we try to be very open in the leadership level. So all the BODs and all the head of department, for all the management, we have our like every 3 months we have a workshop to have a good understanding between us, and we always say that be honest. So when we are talking about the environment, about the organization, and then about the environment inside, about how we want to move forward, we always put honesty on the first word that we have to explain. So when we are asking about where do we want to go, we will be very honest saying about our situation. So this will help us to understand each other like deeply. You know, when I need to spoke to the marketing team or I need to spoke to the product team, I will be very honest that what the another people thinks about the department. And also they will be very honest also about their situation, about their problem. That helps us to understand and put, you know, to appreciate other people because they already try their best to show their effort, right, during the work. That's the like if you ask what kind of culture that we try to develop until now, the highest level of culture that we want to build is being honest as a member of the Tokotok family. So that's what we really need, try to highlight from time to time. And honesty, it starts from the top level. We cannot push the team to be very honest to us if at the same level of the management, we are not honest to each other. That's how we try to do from time to time. I am still far from the target of the culture that I try to develop, to be honest. I'm still on my way there. But I have the whole management that have the same way of thinking and the same perspective about our direction. So even though let's say I myself as an HR, my KPI, my target is not about how I develop my team and etc. But my real target is the GMV target of the company.
Right.
That's why
That's
I
right.
need to be very honest on how I can help them to reach that company KPI.
Right.
I hope that
Right.
answer your question, Foster.
Yeah, maybe I would like to add on a little bit, Foster. This is simply because we know each other well, me, Mbak Wulan, and the rest of the friends in our small team, right? And I came also from the same industry previously with Mbak Wulan. And something about startup and something that we also discussed is that startup started using agile methodology way ahead before other industries. They need to work on fast-paced, and that is why the culture and the values have to be aligned with the fastness of the business, right? Otherwise, we are not going to catch up. And that's where the role of HR will support so much in this case, right? And I think in this case, what her company highlights is really the honesty. Like, for example, probably Mbak Wulan has the most number of Scrum meetings where she shared a lot with our team, right? And then the squads or the meeting is joined by many countries even, right, Mbak? It is joined by the Korean, because I think that's where the founding company is, and then other country in the region, right? So this is also something else that speed up the process, the honesty. When you cannot do that, you have to say that, because usually the Scrum meeting is very short, but we need to come up with the incremental progress of the stand-up of the Scrum. Yeah, and we need to ensure that our presence really contributes and that do not waste the time. Yeah, usually the Scrum meeting is around 15 to 30 minutes maximum, because they really need to shoot on the fundamental thing. That is where the product team will say, and the product owner will navigate the conversation. That is why HR, when we are a part of it, needs to be sharp and needs to be honest. Okay, and I think we need to highlight that it is quite rare where e-commerce or startup company includes that kind of noble values. Honesty is almost unheard probably in many growing company, because probably all they think is about business. All the thing they think is about making the ROI, return on investment, because usually startup has layers of financing, right?
Yeah.
Like even a big startup, even a decacorn startup will have rounds of financing. Round of J, round of H, like many rounds, right? And that's where our contribution has to start counting up. Okay, and hopefully this sort of highlights how Mbak Wulan has to juggle, the people relationship, the alignment with business strategy, and also shaping people into the kind of values that we want to deliver. So I think hopefully that supports the explanation from Mbak Wulan. Okay, and I would like to welcome Jaker from Bangladesh. I would like to welcome Ibu Dame from Indonesia, a dear friend of us too, and Ibu Gita. So the later, the merrier here. I see more participations going on. So Foster, having that information added, does it complement your question?
Oh yes, in fact, what what I was going to ask, but now I need not, because to me, startup or many companies are chasing the performance. Everyone wants to deliver, and yeah, and then you mentioned about the honesty. I think this is a good complement, or in fact, the foundation of the success. Yeah, so I have no further question on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Foster, actually, it is very bold of Toko Talk and Baulan as the ambassador of the culture here to put honesty forward, because culturally, Asian is very shy on failure. Is very shy on saying no. Is very shy on saying that I'm not ready yet. But the agile methodology requires us to be honest, to be straightforward, to be efficient, to deliver, right? So in other words, what she said is actually it is okay to say no. It is okay to step back a while, but we need to make a catapult move, right? It's like catapulting, right? You move backwards, but you make a great leap. So that's how it works.
Yeah,
right?
you.
Okay, all right. Jaker, Gita, Dame, Marie, you are welcome to ask our very special guest speaker here. Like I said, you will be equipped with further information from our deck, but I really want to maximize our interactive time because that's really the unique proposition of AsiaHRM. We maximize the interactiveness among us and make sure that this is a fruitful session to take out. Arya, ada pertanyaan nggak?
All good, Mbak Dia, Mbak Wulan, thanks for the content. I think I just want to add up a bit. I think what Mbak Wulan mentions, it is important to have the leadership, apalagi dengan pandemik sekarang ini ya. With this pandemic, I think it's quite crucial. Karena I know some company are not succeed karena the leader is not strong enough. And then, especially in this moment as well, I think human resources is showing their functions more than the admin roles, but also like the strategic functions. And then I think what we've been talking over the 1 hour during this call, I think quite important and quite necessary for us to think about that HR is not an admin role. We're not an admin expert, but also we are the business partners. So this is the mindset that we need to put it in ourselves, right? Because all of my team, when they come into my office, they're always thinking that HR is admin, and then we're busy with the papers and everything. But turns out we push them to set up the mindset that we are a business partner, which is we need to understand the business, then we can help the company in overall process. That's all, Madia.
Yeah, thank you. And I would like to highlight Arya's comments. Actually, the role of HR being business partner was introduced by the famous, siapa namanya opa-opa itu, Mbak Ulan yang dari Amerika itu. I was with him actually, and I adore him. Huh? Apa namanya the famous American apa namanya
Dave Ulrich ya.
Dave Ulrich, correct. Yeah. So back then, Dave Ulrich in the early 20s proposed 4 roles of HR. One is being the champion. Second is being the administrative expert. And then third is actually being the business partner. And then fourth, I forgot because it was
change agent.
Change agent. Thank you very much, Gita. Thank you. Wow.
Welcome.
That's why you are here. and that is why we started.
I want to share something about the HR business part.
Yes, Marie. Yeah, and that is why
May.
from then on we are familiar with HRBP, title. Okay, Marie, you said you have some insights about HRBP. Maybe you want to share with us,
Yes,
Marie.
yes. Because like for example, in the previous company where I work, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to say, because in the previous companies, I've been working in Cambodia for 13 years now. So 10 years in HR in Cambodia here, and 5 years back in the Philippines. So previously, HR are known only as the police, right? So police and admin. So we don't actually involve in the operation. We are not business partner. The people will, when they see HR, they are afraid of us because they think they will get terminated, that they will have disciplinary action. But current business partner, like what we are doing now in our company. So in our group, we have a HR business partners, specific titles for this position that would assist and help the operations to achieve their goals and their mission. So now it's being a broad topic in HR, for HR from the conservative HR to being an HR business partner. Now we help the company achieve the goals, not only on people, but also in business operation.
Yeah. Thank you, Marie. Do you have anything else to add on, or is that all? Marie?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Actually,
Okay.
yes, currently with my company now, I was working before in a hotel now, and then now I moved to property management where the HR culture is different because we have the group, and it's
Yeah.
now we become HR partner, HR business partner. So now I'm working closely with the operations with the COO, and the COO told me I cannot implement and I cannot do all these things without you because you are my business partner. So we work
Yeah.
together and we achieve great things for the business.
Right. Right. Okay. Again,
So that's
I would like.
important. How important?
Yeah. Thank you, Marie. Right. I also would like to underline the importance of HR. Back then, when we were known as personnel, we lead the organization from behind. And then early 20s, we become partner. But when agile methodology was introduced back in 1960, and where it becomes being a trend in 1990s, HR also takes a leading role. So this is something where leadership kicks in this topic, right? And if everything goes on like this, and if we want to navigate the future of work, HR may be leading something else that is not our expertise. I just want to take an example of the current team of mine. I was shocked and thrilled at the same time, where suddenly 2 team members of mine being put on the board of the senior management team, being the scrum masters of the 2 projects that is related with client sustainability and client experience. And this is something where mutually HR is seen as a leader, and at the same time, given the trust. I would like to underline the word trust because Wulan has mentioned that earlier. The trust given and the empowerment given as well for us to lead the business case, right? And probably this is something that will duplicate or multiply or amplified in other industry too. I know startup is ahead again. Probably in different occasion, we can learn more about startup from Baulan and from other members of us. But this is something where we need to be aware of. All right. So we have 10 minutes more to go. I would like to give the floor back to you all for more questions. Like I said, we need to really take the advantage of having our special guest speaker here to learn from. Jaker from Bangladesh,
Okay.
maybe you have something? Or Fitri again?
Hi all, just hearing all the discussions that you were having. I was really interested to hear all those things because this is my first time joining an Indonesian mastermind session. I'm really happy to have Ulan. Hi Ulan.
Hi Jaker, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you, pleasure here. The discussions currently we're having, I'm okay, and if I have any questions later on in the part, then I'll definitely get back. All right, thanks Dia.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
No
All right
worries.
then. So it's my turn.
Okay, Fitri. Yes.
Sorry if I asked too much question. Yeah.
Well,
No
you're so
worries.
happy.
You need to take
Traffic
advantage.
is so
Okay.
bad.
Nice.
I think
Then.
the traffic is so bad. That's why Fitri is like very focused on asking questions.
Not really. All right. So, because previously Mbak Wulan also mentioned that to be a good leader has, like takes time, and of course it's not a short-term step. So, could you please share what step that you took to be a leader like now? Because of course somehow we don't know how to make any steps. Like I want to be like Mbak Wulan, let's say. Yeah, I want to be like Mbak Wulan, or I want to be like Mbak Dia. So what should we take at the first step and then the next step? Because the small step, I think it's also matters for your next journey, right? So please, Mbak Wulan. Thank you.
Another heavy questions. So here's the thing. When we are talking about the journey that we go to develop ourselves, it's never been the same, right? From maybe it will be different, like a Mbak Dia path is supposed to be very different with my own path. So I think if I may back to my previous slides, what I did back then was trying to understand myself first. That was the very first step that I took at that time. I've been doing 4.5 years for the HR generalist level at that time. I saw there is no room for me to go up to the like a more senior level. I was already on the supervisor level at that time. And then I tried to understand what I really want about myself and my career for my next journey, because in bahasa in like a young generation now, they will say that I'm a kind of person who really I'm quite ambitious at that time, because I know that I came back then. I always feel that a bit inferior because I came from a small city. Would it be possible for me to achieve a career to be a manager? Even become an HR manager is something that I dream of at that time. So on a fifth year, then I met the CEO of this company. We have a very long discussion, and then I realized I can answer all his questions. At that time, I start to feel aware that, hey, I have my skill. Apparently, I know a lot of things about the HR. So maybe this is like the right time for me to be brave and ask to my boss whether there is an opportunity for me to be a manager. So I put all my guts and asking her if I can get an opportunity. even though I know that in the organization there is no spot for the that level, but I try to show her that I feel I am ready. So I'm asking her to test me whether I am really ready for this position. And at that time, the conversation was open also to mention to me that you have the quality, but unfortunately, we don't have the space for you. We don't have any slots to promote you. So it was also easy for me to explain to her that would it be okay if I'm looking for another opportunity outside? Would it be good for me for my own career development? As I mentioned also that she is also someone that I really look up to at that time. And she was saying that just go, try to challenge yourself. If then you can also start to understand whether you have the skill that needed or not. If you open yourself to be interviewed with other company. So she encouraged me to do the interview. So I go for like a 2 interview, and then I got the opportunity. Even though I at that time I only had the experience to lead one person, which is the only the admin person who helped me on doing the recruitment. But I believe that I can also challenge myself to lead another people. And back then, before I start joining the new company, I tried to, again, talking to myself in the mirror and asking, what will be my weaknesses if I need to be the leader of the HR department? Because the company, the topest level of the HR is the HR manager. So what I did at that time is I make a list on any additional skills that I need to have, starting from the leadership, how I do the communication, how I do a proper presentation to convince other people. So I make a list, and then I start looking for any provider that can help me. So it is more how I motivate myself. So if you're asking, what should I do if I want to be, upgrading myself, then again, speak to yourself, talk to yourself in the mirror and asking, try to analyze what is your strength and what is your weakness. And then you see how you can, if you become, in a higher level, what will be needed for you to be able to deliver that. So that's what I'm trying to do from time to time. When but I stayed at the manager level for quite long also at that time. I moved from one company and then to another company as a manager, and then one company hired me as a senior HR manager, and then all of a sudden I got like a very challenging opportunity when one of worldwide company came with the headquarters at Dubai, called me and asking if I am looking for a new opportunity. So it was another challenge for me because I don't feel that, even though I was working with publicists before, but the role is only on the Asian region, and then I reported only to the region people, which is at the Singapore at the time. So when the challenge come from this company, I was asking myself, do my knowledge is I can put it as the same standard as another country, because I never go and work in another country, right? And then I said, let's do this. Let's try to find more information whether I am capable or not. So it's more about how I keep trying to challenge myself. And then when I do all the tests, even when they sent me the offering letter, I realized that what I learned in here is quite okay, but I need to challenge myself, because at that time, all of a sudden, I just realized that I have to handle 14 different countries, from Australia until Maldives, the latest premises that they built. So I need to be able to speak to people with a very diverse background. I need to be able to understand their culture, to understand their legal and the regulation about employment. So that's another challenge. That's why I feel that I've been being exposed a lot. I built the network because I opened myself to understand what happening around the world, and that's also makes me. I'm not that confident. For your information, I'm not always feels confidence that I made the right decision, but I know that when I move forward or when I move backward, there will always be consequences that I need to deal with. So that's the thing that I try to prepare myself. So Fitri, if you say that how we can develop ourselves, again, talk to the mirror, talk to the real you, understand yourself better, then you will find a way. And remember, you need to up to the challenge if you want to move forward. That's from my side. I hope that's answered the question. And Badia, if you have anything to add.
No, I just want to highlight everyone. I think this is the zest, the essence of the meeting, right? When we hear a life story, a handful of experience, I think that makes the learning more exciting, right? Rather than showing theories and decks of theories, right? So learning from others is also the fastest way of developing ourselves. And we had the opportunity, the valuable opportunity to learn from Mbak Wulan in this case. Unfortunately, the time doesn't allow us to speak more, but allow me to conclude the meeting because that's what I still have to do. Okay. I will go to, okay. So I think to put ourselves in a nucleus conclusion of what makes a great character, of what makes a great leader, these are the 10 ingredients that you may want to reflect to yourself. One thing that I underline from Mbak Wulan's sharing today is that she consistently displayed the self-awareness and then asking ourselves and then measuring our capacity and projecting it into certain skill gap that we still need to improve. And the way it is presented is that it keeps looking forward or it keeps moving forward. So being a leader is also something like that, because this is also our job to navigate, and navigate is never backward. It's always forward. So that's I think the takeout from hearing Mbak Wulan's experience, right? And then we also need to be careful of what the challenges that makes leadership, our leadership is tested, right? We need to stay humble. We need to have self-confidence, which is covered. We have to overcome fear, because Mbak Wulan also mentioned that I have to be brave, right? And then we need to follow through, and that has been showcased by her taking notes and then measuring it. And then we need to have fun as well, and that's how we deal with stress and stuff. Okay, there are 21 things that I managed to get from a certain source here, and that will make our leadership journey more fun and colorful. The last is keeping it human. That's how it relates to what Mbak Wulan says. We need to be ourselves, and we are human beings. We need to be honest. So it's covered, it's checked, right? And we need also to be aware of what will derail us or what will stumble us if we want to sharpen our leadership in the future. Yeah, we need to ensure that our motivation, with our job keeps up there, you know. We need to be aware that along with higher role or higher responsibility, there will be some stress that goes with it, but it depends on how we perceive it, right? And then we need to be aware as well. Mbak Wulan mentioned about moving to other companies which has different culture, right? But probably the culture may be so much different, maybe a little bit toxic to us, but if you put yourself as a leading part, you can turn it into a different kind of situation, right? We also encounter some, you know, situation where we are trapped in an environment which is unethical, yeah. So we need to be sure that we always do the right thing as a HR person. There are many regulations, there are many norms that we need to ensure the implementation is there, because people will look up to us, you know, and we need to ensure that we do not abuse our, you know, authority, so it will look abusive to people. And I think Mbak Wulan also highlight that in the beginning, that of her you know, sharing with us. So I think that concludes our meeting today, right? Of course, we are going to share back what we have right now to all of you. And I just would like to share with you as well, by the end of March, Rita, as the president of AsiaHRM, will conduct a survey. And the survey is meant to get the pulse from us, whether how we should move forward with AsiaHRM. At the beginning, we mentioned about marketing it more aggressively. So please participate in the survey so we can get a better shape of AsiaHRM in the future. Okay, so again, I would like to thank so much Mbak Wulan as being the fruitful and inspiring guest speaker tonight. Thanks for your time, and thanks everyone for your presence. Yes, and is it possible for us to showcase ourselves? I would like to make a picture of all of us. Yes.
Safina, wow. I miss you. Why you just joined?
Sorry.
She's still at the office, Badia.
Oh,
so
okay,
I
Jacker.
really encourage everyone here to join the next mastermind. Why? We are not talking about a lecture process. This will be the discussion process and how we try to encourage each of us, how we try to empower each of us to go higher and higher and higher. So please utilize this forum. What I keep mentioning to Mbak Dia, that we need to do more promotion about this, because this is something that actually the young leader needs, right?
Yeah.
So please join the next mastermind.
Okay. Okay. Let me count 1, 2, 3. I would like everybody to put up their best smile on screen. 1, 2, 3. Yes. One more, please. Where is the? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great week ahead and stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.